Hi, I'm Ash.
And I'm Fatima.
This is Fatash.
Fatash. No, I would say that it depends on what's going to happen to you next that determines whether or not you like what you feel in the first place, whether it's jealousy or just like more responsibility. And then whether or not you like get over it.
Alright, well, older sibling to older sibling. I'm the oldest of three. I have to
Mhm.
pause and count because I do have step siblings, and they did live with us somewhat, and I do have a fairly decent relationship with both of them. One there's no contact with for he's in jail for probably the rest of his life.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
yeah, it's a long story. Well, it's not a long story, but it's a unfortunate story for young black men that kind of get lost in the system and aren't really, well, not even in the system, but just when they don't get the care they need and they're not brought up in a family structure or get the diagnosis they need. I think they said he had he was exposed to lead. I want to say I think that was something that was one of the issues that they said about him when we were younger. He was exposed to lead and he was like hyperactive, but I don't think they diagnosed him as having ADHD until like way down the line. And this was still like early 2000s, so black boys especially were easily just written off as just wild and unruly, and if you don't have the patience or the knowledge to know how to teach a child like that, it's going to be difficult. So he had difficulties in school and can't really speak to what his home life was outside of my mom's house, but suffice to say it wasn't a conductive household that would keep him out of trouble. We'll say it that way, because the rest of us, to an extent, because my kid brother, he's gotten into some stuff himself. Nothing to the extent that my one of my stepbrothers got into, but kids are gonna sometimes get into the wrong crowd or hang out with the wrong people, and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time doing the wrong thing. Things can escalate, and so that's essentially what happened to my stepbrother. But I say all that to say I have siblings of various ages and gaps. My kid brother is 3 years younger than me. My sister, my only sister, is 4 years. Again, I got some step siblings that are older than me. Anyway, biologically speaking, my sister, 4 years younger than me, and then my baby brother is 16. Yes, 16 years younger than me. So that's basically you and your brother. Your baby brother came around when you were 16.
No, 13. And there's
Oh,
nobody in between. And because there's nobody in between, I often got stuck doing a lot of unpaid labor to take care of this baby that wasn't
mm-hmm.
mine. And
Yeah.
that's a
Well,
whole different thing. And that's not something that can be like to like get over because it's ongoing.
actually, you know what? I lied. My baby brother is not 16 years younger than me. I don't know why I said 16. I'm bad at numbers. Let me see. I'm 32, and he's going to be, I want to say 20 this year. So 12. So again, still, the age gap is about there. I just have siblings in between that are closer to me in age. So, like, I remember distinctly asking my mom, I want a brother, or, and that's important, I want a brother or a sister. Just one. I got both of them within a year span.
Hmm?
I was not happy. When I got my brother, I was cool. I loved it. This cute, fat ass baby. Got to hold him. You look at all the pictures of me and my brother, and I was just always just smiles getting to hold him. The only issue I can remember, even to this day, was when it was his birthday. It was his first birthday. This was the first time I've experienced someone else having their birthday celebrated, and it's not me. And I'm like, okay, well, when is it gonna be my birthday? And I was like, next month. Because literally, my brother's birthday is the first of the month. And mine is like at the fucking tail end of the following month. So here I am, I'm like 3, and I'm trying to understand why we gotta spend a whole day celebrating somebody else. And I guess that's where a lot of parents come in with that whole, oh, we gotta give the other kid a little cupcake so they don't feel left out. Fortunately, my family didn't do that. It's like, look, today ain't your day. Deal with it. Your birthday's next month. And like I said, I'm 32 years old, and I still remember standing in the kitchen and wondering why we weren't celebrating me. But now I think about it, can I say that I really got over it? If I can still remember that? Yes, I will. It was one of those harsh realities of life that just stuck with me as like a pivotal learning block of like, life ain't always gonna be about you. And so I said it to say, I accepted things easily or better as a young child, as opposed to like when I became a teenager. So when my baby brother came around, like even with my little sister, even though I ain't necessarily want another kid, especially having to go through the fact that there'd be days when we're not celebrating me, I liked her for a bit, you know. She was small and cute, and then she got bigger, started talking and getting on my nerves, and I was like, But my baby brother, definitely love him. I love my baby brother. He was cute and fat again. But I also didn't really have to interact with him as much like you did. Like that burden wasn't really there for me because I had my brother and my sister, so they could step in to an extent. And then my mom worked from home, so she was pretty much always raising him. The only time I necessarily had to step in is if she needed me to like run an errand to the market, and she's like, take your siblings with you, kind of thing. Or I had to take my youngest brother, and I hated it. I hated doing it only because I didn't like the stigma of me looking like I was like a teen mom. I hated that. I'm like, I know there's people thinking that this is my kid. Like, we just didn't, in my neighborhood wasn't bad, but it was like so commonplace for young black girls to be pregnant, or just that stigma of like a young girl with a baby, that must be hers. Like, why can't this be my brother? He's like 2, I'm 13. That's a okay age gap to have. And then I'd be with my other brother. Now it's like, now we look like a teen couple. It's like, I hated it. That could have just been me projecting. That was definitely in the height of like Teen Mom being really popular on MTV. I never watched Teen Mom. I fucking hated the concept of that being a reality show. I did not get it, even as a teen.
No, I had similar experiences with people assuming that Trevor was mine if I went out with him alone. Yeah. And even like people walking up to me and saying stuff, because like people do not fear me.
No, I never have folks walk up to me, thank God.
People have walked up to me and say, babies having babies. And one even like criticized me, said, oh, you're doing this, that, and the other to that boy. And like Trevor was throwing like the hugest, like kicking, screaming, like throwing a tantrum in the mall. And some older black man like yelled at me. And then Trevor stopped like immediately and like grabbed me and was like, Tima, who's that? And I was like, I have no idea.
And
about who's criticizing my parenting when I am not this boy's parent.
It was wild to me. It's
but
like, A lot of the criticism is coming from like the older generation, where it's like, do you not remember your own self going to the market running errands for your family with your younger siblings?
At the same time,
you not even acknowledging.
Wait. At the same time, a good friend of mine was pregnant at the same time that my mother was pregnant, and that shit radicalized me for life, and that is why I'm still to this day like pro-choice. But
well, I say that to say the first instinct is to assume that you see a young girl and a baby and it's hers.
No.
What? But
if she's black, it is.
That part.
But if she's white or Asian, I don't think they would make those same assumptions.
Right, and it's annoying because, again, while both is true, why is it that, oh, that's her kid, shame on her, is the first thing you think of, and not, oh, look at an older sibling stepping in to help out mama and run some errands or look after their younger sibling, when that is the same goddamn things you probably did at some point in your own damn childhood. You've seen that before. You don't even know me, but you're already assuming the worst about me. My assumption when I see a bunch of young kids together is, oh, look at that. Mom done sent them out to do an errand together just to get them out the fucking house. I don't assume any of them is necessarily the mom.
Right.
Because that's what I grew up with. It's just always annoyed me. And another thing that would really annoy me too is when I'd be out with my dad and older dudes would think I'm my dad's girlfriend.
Yeah.
My dad is a good, 40 years older than me? I don't look that grown. I look young. When I was 16, I did not look like a woman. I did not dress like a woman. I didn't wear makeup. But just because I was a young woman with a little ant hill of tit, they assumed I was my father's girlfriend. And my dad did not date young women. Because, I mean, men.
Well, lots of men do. Like,
I know,
those age gap relationships
I know it's a thing.
Exist.
But when it comes to my dad, like, because these would be people apparently that he knew or like worked with. So they would see my dad with women. The women my dad would be with looked like grown ass women. Like, they were themselves like mid-30s, no more than like maybe I'm gonna say 8-year age gap, because my mom is about 8 years younger than my dad. But they looked grown. They looked like adults. They looked like they got a 9 to 5 and probably about 2 kids. I looked as childlike as you could get for a teenager. And on top of that, people always said I look like my dad. So now we talking Game of Thrones incest over here? What are we doing? We Targaryens now? Though I'm not blood related to my dad, but it is one of those, I think, nature nurture type things. Because he did raise me, I was around him a lot, and I feel like, yeah, I do kind of look like my dad. Not, but then when you see his actual biological daughter, you're like, oh yeah, no, you're not his. That's not his. But anyway, yeah.
All right, so I was going to ask you, like, what is your relationship to St. Patrick's Day?
It's fucking annoying. Because
you don't like St. Patrick's Day?
Why would I? I have like one. There's a part of our family that is apparently Irish, but we don't know because great grandma Nettie ran away. Allegedly, we don't know
to
what
pass.
Happened.
Did she run away to pass?
We don't know what happened to Nettie. She was married to a black man way back in the day, so anything could have happened. Maybe she was exiled by her family. Was my great grandfather abusive? I don't know, but they had a lot of kids. Did they have a lot of kids? They probably had the assumed amount for that age back in the day.
How
But
many is that? 8? Like, 'cause
I would say about like a minimum 5. I want to
yeah,
say.
because back
I
then they
have
were
to.
thinking like we have to have enough to run the farm.
Well, yeah, and they didn't have a farm, but like my grandfather is the second eldest of, and unfortunately, a lot of my great aunts and uncles have passed since COVID. Like,
Oh,
we lost about 3 of them in a year,
sorry to
just
hear
in
that.
months of each other. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but it was Papa. I forget my aunt's name. God, forgive me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, about 6. There's about 6, including my grandfather, 6 altogether. And him and his oldest sister, they're only 9 months apart, which is wild to me. Ugh.
Not really. Especially when you consider like it wasn't until the 70s that a law was passed that acknowledged marital rape. Because before
I'm not even talking about like the issue of consent or not. I'm just thinking of like your body. You just pushed out a baby 9 months ago. Your organs are trying to resettle. God knows what your pussy's looking like. It's
but just because you don't want to back then, don't
I know
matter.
I know, but again, I'm talking just thinking of the physicality of your body after giving birth and now nursing a baby. Then you stack on the fact that where was consent in play in this? Because I don't know if anyone was going to be up for it outside of the husband. I don't think a woman a couple months out from giving birth has sex on their mind. They're tired. They're nursing a baby. They're still running the household to an extent. Organs resettling, still wearing a big ass diaper for whatever else falls out post baby. Like, you're not feeling the sexiest. Your hormones are all over the place. I just don't see a woman being like, yo, let me get back up on there. Like, I don't see it. I don't, but that's neither here nor there because I'm never going to have a baby because now I found out about cryptic pregnancies.
Oh, is that when the baby just stays in there and calcifies?
No. I don't know what that is. No.
Oh, that's a thing. You could be pregnant for like 10 years.
Oh my God. No, this is when you're pregnant and you don't know it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, actually, there was a whole show that used to come on the Learning Channel called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant.
Yeah, but like I saw a video of this girl. I don't know how old she was. She seemed young. She's still living with her parents and was like working like at a restaurant or something. So I give her somewhere between like 18 and 21 because she does mention drinking. Somewhere between 18 and 21, still got the vibrancy of life about her or whatever. And she was saying how during her pregnancy, and she had video of herself, like her belly was flat. She said she'd actually lost weight during the pregnancy. She lost like 30 pounds. She had no symptoms. She was still having her period.
Yeah, that can happen.
Like, she always had light periods anyway. So her period still came at the time she expected, and at the length, and at the intensity that she was used to. Everything was par for the course. And then one night she had like really bad cramps, and her family took her to the hospital. The doctors are scanning, like, I mean, I don't know. Let's just give her an ultrasound. Mom's looking like, I think that's a baby. Next thing she knows, the baby's crowning. Boop, she got herself a baby girl. And kudos to this girl she must have a very loving and supporting family. She didn't mention anything about a boyfriend or whatever. But she was like, yeah, my parents are there to help me. And it's like, I just didn't know the joy of having a baby until I had my baby. And it's all good.
With your Tinder date? Like, where did this baby come from?
No one, I guess she ain't mentioned having a boyfriend or nothing. She just said she was drinking during the pregnancy, but the baby's not. There's nothing wrong with the baby. And she wasn't like a heavy drinker. It's just like, you have a drink every now and then. It's not necessarily every night, but like me, like you get a glass of wine like once or twice a week or in a month. But the way she's able to just in her video, and I'm horrified. I'm literally watching this video with my hand over my mouth, scared at the thought that I could just be living my life for 9 months and all of a sudden I'm birthing a baby, because I would have cramps and probably not think anything of it prior to now knowing that cryptic pregnancies are things. I joke all the time, like my period is late, I'm pregnant. I haven't even left my house in 2 months, but I'm pregnant. It's an immaculate conception. I'm the next Virgin Mary. But
hey,
and again, and I don't know what this girl was getting up to, but it would be even more horrifying if she was actually on birth control, whether it was using a condom or has some kind of IUD, which I'll get into the IUD in a minute. But
yeah, because that's crazy to let your Tinder date hit it raw. But people do that. People do that. Oh, I forgot people do that. Oh, okay, sorry, didn't mean to slut shame. Ooh, legs.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to slut shame, but people have a relationship with sex that I just don't, and I just cannot understand. I don't even like being too close to people on the fucking trains. But you're gonna let somebody hit on the first night. I've just never encountered someone so
raw.
Yeah, I've not met someone so sexually compelling that I throw all caution and logic out the window. I just haven't. But for other people, maybe they have in good form. But
my
again,
anxiety will always be too high for me to ever.
Yeah, same. But
not upon meeting you. But once you talk to me, like you get those good words going. Yeah, I could be a bird. Yeah, I could be a bird then.
Well, and again, I don't know if this girl was on any kind of birth control, but like, she was also like, taking her birth control on a regular, or had the IUD, or like, even just had been still consistently having sex, but using a condom. That would be even more like, what the fuck am I supposed to do to not be pregnant other than celibacy at this point? I've been doing everything y'all told me to do, and I still got a cryptic pregnancy? That will horrify me. My friend, she was using an IUD for like 3 months or something, and she was just in the hospital for like a whole day because the IUD dislodged itself. I guess from her cramps. I don't know how an IUD unlodges itself.
Yes, they do. Also, they travel. They can end up in other like parts of your body. And I remember when I was a drug rep, a doctor was explaining to me like, even though women have all these options for birth control, like there's still a substantial number of unplanned pregnancies. Mm-hmm. And he has also delivered babies that have like come down like out of the birth canal clutching the fucking IUD.
That's fucking wild. You talk about life finds a way. God damn.
Mama, you lost this.
That's going in the baby book. If the baby gets born with the IUD, it's going in the baby book. This dude said, I'm be born. Fuck. What you thought this was going to happen?
And there's all sorts of things that makes your like hormonal birth control not work, such as certain supplements. So like, I remember, I think I told you the story that my dad was giving me St. John's wort without telling me what it was when I was a teenager.
No.
Yes, it did. He'd give it to me and then he was like, how are you feeling? at some point he was like, well, I started giving you St. John's wort because like I heard that it helped with like anxiety and depression, and sometimes you're kind of a bitch, so I figured that this would help.
Wow.
Not knowing that had I been sexually active and on birth control, St. John's wort would have made my birth control stop working.
That's crazy.
Antibiotics make your birth control stop working, and a whole slew of other like over-the-counter like medications and stuff and supplements can make your birth control stop working.
Yeah. Never mind on top of the fact of you never know how birth control is going to just affect your body outside of controlling the ovulation and all that. You
also stomach flu, if you're throwing up a lot, you could throw up your birth control, which now it won't work.
So you'll have some women, they're on their birth control and now their complexion is glowing. Meanwhile, women who had glowing complexions are now breaking out.
Yeah.
Some will get big boobs. Some might gain more weight. Some might lose weight. It is such a fucking crapshoot. Every time you try to deal with the biology of a woman, whether that is taking birth control or even just having a dick in you, it's gonna fuck you up one way or another, good or bad. You don't know yet. And I don't like the odds. I really don't. I was telling my friend the other day, people act like sex is like a guaranteed good time. The way they just be out here just...
That's a lie. That's the marketing. That's the hype.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, the hype would make you think you go out and you have sex with anybody and it's gonna be good that first time. You're just gonna be trying to be out in the streets trying to get another hit like a can of Mountain Dew. I can go into my fridge and guarantee any can I take out that box is gonna taste just as good as the last. I am not guaranteed to go into a club every night, get a different dude, and the sex is gonna be just as good as the last guy. I don't like them odds. I don't like the odds. It's not worth me being out there. And ain't nobody gonna be able to convince me otherwise. Like, you think, oh, well, you just gotta find the right one, someone that's really attractive. It's been 32 years. It's been 32 years, and I've yet to meet a guy that I felt so attractive enough that I'm like, you know what? I'll let him hit. Hell, I'll let him get me pregnant. They are lucky. I don't know. It's more about like lucky if I let them hit. It's not. It's just. I don't see it in the cards for me. I don't.
It's more about like the psychological like attraction.
It's very much
for me. And also I need that like friendship connection. If I can't stand talking to you, then we're just gonna.
Oh yeah, that's the thing for me too. I'm like, I need to know that without sex, do I want you in my face?
Also trust and safety. Like, are you gonna steal my shoes and then give them to your girlfriend and then I'll find out about it on Twitter?
That is very specific. Did that happen?
That happened. No, it did not happen to me, but it happened to this one girl. And it was like our viral sensations last like
maybe a month.
So short, but I remember that shit.
I mean, that's like any kind of virus.
Because like all of it was just kind of like, you did what, girl? She had met somebody on name a dating app, like Tinder. Tinder or whatever, and then she met up with them, and then she brought him home, and then like when she brought him home, he was like talking about like, ooh, he noticed her shoes, and she was like, oh, you know about those? I guess it was like a $600 pair of school,
some Louis Vuitton, some red bottoms.
Yeah, and then he was asking her like, oh, what size do you wear and all that stuff. She slept with him, and when she woke up, her shoes are missing.
That is
and then she was scrolling through her Instagram or something, and then she saw like a post of somebody being like, oh, look at these new shoes my boyfriend just bought me.
That's one of the most trifling things.
Then she went through that woman's like history and noticed that her boyfriend was the guy that she had slept with the previous night. It was a whole thing. She had to.
While I appreciate people being able to share nowadays, as you and I think a lot of my other friends have said, bring back shame.
I'm
Everything.
not
I
one to
don't.
bring back shame. I am a psychology person, and so we're very anti-shame
Okay.
because shame doesn't change things. It just makes people hide them, and therefore, and when the people start hiding shit, it puts the rest of us at risk because
Okay. Well, let me
we
put it
don't know
this
what's
way.
all
Let
out
me. Let me.
there.
Let me put it this way.
Okay.
Find some real friends or therapists, because
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah.
internet does not need to know about all of your bad decision making. Now,
Well,
again,
she came
I
to
feel,
the internet because the internet was how she found the girl. Like she came to the internet to say, like, hey, this person stole my shoes.
I mean, she could have DM'd the girl and be like, "Hey, your boyfriend stole my shoes," and left it at
Well,
that.
no, first she went like, okay, so I told the story wrong. First she went to the internet saying, like, hey, this guy stole my shoes. Does anybody seen this guy? And then like
Okay, that's
somebody, like a friend of a
fair.
friend, like popped up to be like, oh, my girl was just bragging about her boyfriend.
Okay. Those stories, that's different. Those stories, I like those stories of people who reach out
She
to
had
be
to
like,
crowdsource.
"Hey, yeah, that I understand," and then I can understand going back and people be
And
like, "Okay,
she even
but
got her shoes back.
how and why did you get your shoes stolen?" And then it's like, "All right, here's the context. Didn't really want to share it, but maybe I've done the work and I'm not as ashamed about it, and I'm ready to share how my and I don't even want to call her decision a poor decision." Just because she let a stranger into her house and fucked them,
I think it's a
but
decision that
it's
a
not
lot
the
of people make.
yeah, it's not okay. Let me put it this way: it's not the safest decision. But like, look at this. Like when I say safest decision, like when you jaywalk, you're supposed to cross at the crossing walk. But a lot of us will cross in between cars when there's space between cars coming. Is it safe? No. Do a lot of us do it? Yes. So that's what I'm saying in her case. It's not the safest decision to make, but a lot of people do make it, and she just unfortunately was one of the people who got a bad consequence. And if the
Like my
sentence
mother
then having her
isn't
shoes stolen was
on.
like least of her concerns, an expensive concern, but like not immediate danger kind of concern.
I'd be afraid that my mother, or God forbid, my father would find out that.
America needs more love hotels. Like Asia's got the right market. They've
Oh,
got
I've
love
seen those. I've
hotels.
seen those in all those Asian dramas, and I was like,
Yes,
yes,
yes, that's what
this is great. Bring
they
those
rated
to
by
America.
they rate them by the hour.
But they're not. They don't look musty and skeezy.
They
Like
don't
we have.
they have themed rooms sometimes. You can order
Mhm.
costumes, porn, food, like good food, condoms, like everything you would need for a good time. You could just have it sent to your room for
Yeah,
like 3 hours,
yeah, but only a couple
and
hours. That yeah.
and it's for a lot of folks that are, it's not even for just like one night stand hookup type stuff. It's just, maybe you got a roommate and you're
Or
not gonna
maybe
bring
you live with
somebody
your
home.
family and you don't want to.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you just want some time for you and your boo, a little staycation.
That's the only place y'all can like cuddle and watch TV for a few hours. Like, yeah.
For a couple dollars, like I think that's a great
That would be
idea.
worth it. Yeah.
And it's funny because it's so commonplace. It's like a trope in like anime nowadays too. I just finished a manga series. It was only 2 books. But this boy, he was like like a freshman in college, and he joined one of the music clubs or whatever. And so the elder members took all the younger members out to the club. No, where did they go? They went to like a restaurant because they're underclassmen. They still can't drink, so they couldn't take them to the bar. But one of the initiations was to like give one of the guy members money to go down such and such alley or something. And it's like, you have to spend your money at one of these establishments on such and such alley, and then you gotta tell us about it. And he's like, what's that alley? It's like, you'll know. And he's like, okay. So he happens to go down the alley and he realized, this is the red light district. They want me to get a hoe. Yeah. But what they call him? An actor. I forget what it was, because he happened to go to one in particular that I believe had both men and women. I think it had both men and women. And the way the proprietor was just like, "Hi, welcome to our establishment. What would you like?" And he's like, I don't know," because he was actually kind of questioning his sexuality. Like, he was straddling the line. He pretty much was on bi, but he hadn't really explored anything that much other than like a high school friend like kissed him. So that was like what opened his eyes to like, oh, I'm not completely turned off to this guy kissing me, but this still doesn't feel like. So the proprietor's like, I'm looking at you. Okay, you don't really know. You could be a bottom. You could be a top. But you know what? Let me put you on to Rio. Rio's to take care of you. Okay, go have a seat in our waiting room, and we'll give you a call. And I'm like, just the professionalism of like, they be having like all the people like up on the screen of like who the top ones are, like who got the most money that week. When you were being called in the waiting room, you got like a number. They'd be like, number 6, your room is ready, kind of thing. You just go down. Girl, it was like so professional and shit. And I'm like, bring this to America.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, again, just so professional about it. I was impressed.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need love hotels in America.
Yeah.
Money,
nice one.
And again, it's not always just about the sex. Sometimes it's just people who want to take a goddamn nap.
Right. Oh my God. There's no good place to take a nap.
No. Like, I know in New York, there's a few, like, capsule hotels, like capsule hotels.
Yeah.
But even those are, like, dorms. Like, it's, like...
Those never looked good to me, because, like...
They're like bunk beds with a curtain. It's
like
not
one
even a
person
door.
farts in their sleep, and you're ruining the experience for everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
again, it's not like capsule hotels in Japan where it's like a literal, like, damn near a coffin with a door, like a hard,
you keep all your
insulated
smells
door
to yourself. Yeah,
it's just a dorm room with a curtain. That's the ones they have in New York. Those are the two I've seen in New York. With the love hotels, it is a studio room with a door and room service.
Yes.
God.
Get a snack.
America's
Get a nap. Ugh.
It's so fucking ghetto. It's so annoying. Oh my God. Anyway, I
was asking you about your relationship to St. Patrick's Day.
I haven't laughed so hard in a while. Yes, sorry. Yeah, St. Patrick's Day, it is annoying because it's a lot of people I have to deal with. I actually went out yesterday because I'm still following the fucking artist way. It's only been a week.
Yay!
I'm fucking over it. But it's only been, how many weeks is this?
12 weeks, like a 12-step program.
Oh my God, I said 32 in my morning page. I'm like, I don't know how many more days. It's 32, 72 weeks,
12
something
weeks.
like that.
12 weeks.
Oh God. Anyway, this is only week 1 of doing the morning pages. My hands still fucking hurt. I'd only been reading like a page a night.
Okay.
And I hadn't realized until like maybe the 3rd night there was the fucking task I gotta do during the week. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, if you don't read ahead, then you won't be prepared for the task.
Yeah, well, I saw it and I'm like, God damn it. So,
but I do love
the chapter did forewarn me of, and you of course, of like the artist date. So I was already like, okay, well, I've got things I need to do on Saturday. I don't know if it's going to count as necessarily an artist date.
I can't count it. Yes.
Well, no, because I was doing it more as like I got some errands I need to run, but there was one particular thing I was going to do as an artist date if the other things I got done allowed me to do it, because the other things I needed to get done while also could be seen as an errand, was also under the guidelines of what they would consider an artist date. So I was like, my main date idea was going to be to see a matinee for a certain movie if I could. But if I don't, these are my other things. So I didn't actually get to do the movie idea because the matinee was over, but I took that time instead I got a piece of artwork framed, and I got a Starbucks, and I sat in the cafe, drank my coffee, and I did the written task for the day or for the week. I did that while I drank my coffee, and just looked out the window of all the non-Irish looking people walking on the street. The only Irish looking person I saw was an actual like bagpipe player. So I'm like, yeah, finally someone who looks like they're actually celebrating the weekend. This is just another excuse for white folks to drink. Or black folks. I saw some black folks, and let me correct that. This is another excuse for America to drink, because they will take any goddamn holiday and just turning it into about drinking alcohol. And it was about a couple stops going south to, where I was doing my task that I realized, fuck, it's St. Patrick's Day weekend. Because I knew it was on Sunday, but then I forgot how, like, even if a holiday is on a specific day, the whole fucking weekend is going to be used to celebrate that holiday. So I'm getting, the train is getting fuller and fuller of young folks out drinking in their green and their beads, and it's just smelling of hot breath Jägermeister and weed, and I'm like, this is getting on my goddamn nerves. I ended up going all the way downtown. Like, at first I was only gonna go to where the fuck? I've been in the city for like 7 goddamn years, and I still don't know the neighborhoods like that. I got off at Belmont. It's kind of like the artsy area of Chicago, whatever. It's not far from Boys Town. It's like a 5-minute walk from Boys Town and Halstead or whatever. And it was already fairly busy. There's not as many pubs necessarily on that street yet, but it's when you get down into like downtown Chicago that things are gonna get pretty busy, because they dye the lake or the river. They dye the river green. I've never actually seen it being dyed green. I've only really, ain't nothing to see until all of it is green. It'll just be boats just spewing ooze into the river. But it's after the fact. We were like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So I get all the way downtown. I forget what I was trying to do down there. I think I was going to Five Below to look for something. I was looking for a weighted blanket. I'm like, I'm already downtown. And then I was like, okay, I might still hit a matinee, because there's an AMC downtown, like across the street from this one. More people. The coffee is now run through me, and now I'm getting the coffee shits, and I'm like, now I'm up on a fucking bathroom in downtown Chicago during St. Patrick's Day, and you're gonna have those places that are like no public restroom type stuff. Okay, let me go to Target. Of course, there's a line. I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna go to Block 37. It's basically like a mall. I get the Block 37 first level bathroom, of course. Line. I'm like, there's like 4 levels, and I guarantee you, the people who are all lined up on this level are fucking amateurs who don't live in Chicago. They're coming in from the suburbs. They don't know Block 37 to know that it's a fucking bathroom on more than one fucking level, and don't know how to read maps. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just go to the one that's on a higher level. Boop, there it is, a bathroom just for me. So that wasn't as bad, but it was still past matinee time, so I couldn't see I chose not to see a movie. I could have.
Okay.
But the Block 37 AMC is even more expensive than the normal AMC, because they deliver your food to your seats, and they're like the little cubicle reclining seats. There's only like maybe 12 seats in a theater. It's very intimate, it's very comfy, but I wasn't trying to spend that money on The Society of Magical Negroes or Love Lies Bleeding. Those were the 2 movies I was going to see. So, Love Lies Bleeding is an A24 film, and A24
Okay.
films I like in general because you never know what you're gonna get. It's gonna be some weird or fucked up probably,
Yeah.
and this looked interesting. It was like about like it's very sapphic. It's like a sapphic romance thriller noir, apparently set in the 80s and with bodybuilder type themes. I was like, okay, this looks interesting. It has I forget the actress's name, the old girl from Twilight.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she's in this one.
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen
Is that her
Stewart.
name?
Yeah,
Okay.
Kristen Stewart. Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm sorry
Go
I
ahead.
have to keep relating her back to Twilight. Like, that's not even necessarily.
That's what she's. That's what
I know
she's
it's what she's
known
It's
for.
what she's known for, but as an
And I
an
know she's
actress,
grown as an artist.
exactly.
However,
Like,
that is her most famous
I know.
role.
I know. I'm saying that as like I say that as a way for us people to recognize, you know, actors
Right.
and actresses, because that's going to be a popular thing to go stick with. But her as an actress, and even the other actors from that movie, they have gone on to do more prestigious things or more art house things that speak more to the kind of
But that was the first thing we saw. Right?
I know,
So,
yeah. But as far as like them as an actor, I would try not to equate them back to their first popular movie that they themselves.
I wouldn't do that if I knew them personally or if I was going to meet them. However, that seems like a far-fetched possibility for me. Maybe
I know.
not you.
I'm just saying, like,
But-
I'm thinking in the
Yeah.
mindset of like, I would not necessarily want to be equated to the piece of artwork that I'm not the most proud of. Did it pay the bills? Yes. Is it something that I want my name to be synonymous with as the first thing you think of? No. But I'd understand why it would. But I'd also appreciate if
I
you
wish
had
I could do
seen
something that I would get royalties for and it would pay bills like
You know, and that-
ongoing. Because then
But
if you
look-
call me that thing, I don't care.
But that's the thing. Like, on a money standpoint, it's like, yeah, it paid the bills. But as an artist, you would hope that they've seen more than just that one thing that made them all that money. Like, they're more than just that one thing. And if that's the one thing that put you on to them, have you seen the rest of my stuff? And did you see the rest of my stuff and you still thought my first outing was my best? I probably
But
feel
also,
away.
even if I have seen your other stuff, like I've read George R.R. Martin's, like some of his other books. However, I know if I'm talking to somebody else, if I say the guy who wrote Game of Thrones,
exactly.
everybody's going to know who I'm talking about. And isn't that
Exactly,
the
but
point
again,
of
that's-
communication? Like,
I know, but I'm saying that's between us as audiences that
Right.
consume their work. I'm saying if you're speaking to another artist about their artistry, especially like if you're an interviewer, you want to speak to their
that's
artistry. You want to speak to
Yeah.
their artistry as a whole, like their whole catalog of work.
right.
And not necessarily again that one big, viral thing. It's like, okay, but I'm more than just that viral moment. I've done this, I've done that. I actually like to do this kind of artwork. That's what I mean. That's what I think of, especially since a lot of the people, because you see it a lot in like the movies that were really popular with the teens in the early 2000s. A lot of those actors,
people hate that.
they try to move away from that. Like the stars of Harry Potter, they're like, yes, Harry Potter is a big part of my life and starting point in my career, but I'm more than just Harry Potter.
Right.
I'm not Hermione.
Right.
I can't think of her actual name right now, but I'm not Hermione.
And yet I can picture her when you say Hermione.
I
Yeah,
know.
I know.
Exactly. But again,
Yeah.
I try to put myself in the shoes of these actors and actresses who are trying to be more than just what the public wants to pigeonhole them in, because that is their childhood. That is nostalgia for them. So,
Right.
to Kristen Stewart's credit, she, one reviewer said, like, the money she made off of the Twilight series has allowed her to take these lower paying acting jobs in these kind of indie films, because that's what she wants to do. For a lot of artists, sometimes they end up doing projects that they don't necessarily care for because they need to pay the bills. This is their job.
Right.
They need the money. And you can sometimes feel that in actors who are doing this job just as a paycheck, as opposed to those who do it because they like the craft, they like the project. I think of like Samuel L. Jackson. That man ain't got an Oscar or nothing. Like, he's not necessarily going into these jobs. He's not taking on roles that's like, oh, this is going to get me an Oscar nomination. This is going to really challenge my range. He's in it for the fun. He's playing the campy, the loud, the fun.
And he's so good at it. I love it.
He's so good. That's the thing. And Samuel Jackson, if Samuel Jackson's in a movie, even if it's bad, he's probably the best thing in it.
Right.
Because he's having a good time. And that's the thing. If this is your job as an actor, I would hope that you are taking on jobs that you are enjoying. I don't want you to be like old girl from 50 Shades of Grey now doing Madam Web. Like, I feel sorry for her. She keeps getting these roles that don't really seem to give her range to act. And they get fucking panned. Like, people are always coming down on 50 Shades of Grey. Rightly so.
I didn't even realize that was that same actress. Like, the 50 Shades of Grey girl was the
Yes.
Damn, poor girl.
Exactly.
She's just trying to live. She ain't right.
She's just trying to pay some bills. But I feel, it was really upsetting. Well, not really upsetting, but like, I felt bad for her in the sense that, like, you know, whoever pitched this to her was pitching it to her as if it was a Disney Marvel film. They just said it was a Marvel film.
Yeah.
So like, her and other co-actors are on their Instagrams like, yeah, I'm gonna be in a Marvel film, and kind of find out it's Madam Web of all things. So she's just in the press tour, like, she does not give a fuck. She clearly does not like this project at all. She fired her agency. Again,
yeah,
artist to artist, I want to see people doing the things that they want to do and enjoying what they're doing. And I've just not seen her, or at least the movies that come through on my timeline into my little bubble of the internet, the movies she's been attached to have not been good, and she doesn't seem to have enjoyed the movie that she's in.
That's sad. That's terrible.
It is. I hope she gets a breakout film that she can, like, be proud of. But yeah, that was one of the movies. Love Lies Bleeding with Kristen Stewart. I might watch it at some point. I don't know. I'm just very tight with my money, even though I've been spending like a billionaire, no Temu, the way I've been out here lately. And the American Society of Magical Negroes, that's the title.
Yeah.
That I have yet to see any real reviews from, which I found
that's weird.
Yeah, like, people were so ready to pan it with the trailer and everything. I thought for sure by Thursday I would be seeing people ripping this movie to threads or being like, oh no, it's not so bad. I've only heard from my co-host on Blurcott. They said one of their friends said it was okay. Like, it was fine. I'm like, okay, that's not bad. I already was going into mindset of like, it's probably gonna be fine. It's not gonna be the satire that I imagined it was going to be, but it'll hopefully bring itself together. But I've had to actually like try to dig for reviews, mostly black. I'm sorry, white folks, but I do not really care about your opinion on this movie unless you're a particular white. There are some white reviewers that I will listen to just because I've listened to them for so long. I've got a sense that they're not going to be like, oh my god, it's woke, it's blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like they will just take it on like entertainment value and just storytelling and video or movie making in general. So I'll listen to them. I think there's probably about 2 of them in my list of YouTube movie reviewers that I'll listen to. I haven't. It's been a lot of smaller content creators, even some of the smaller by comparison of the other black reviewers I listen to, they haven't even made like quick out of the theater, this is my first impression type movie reviews yet. And I'm like, what is did I miss the black meeting where we said we were boycotting this movie? Like what happened? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to see it just because, again, stringent on my money. It would have to be a matinee, and I do have like a $5 coupon. I thought for sure T-Mobile was going to do one of those Atom tickets thingies. Every now and then, T-Mobile and Atom tickets will give you like a $5 movie ticket for a specific movie. Usually a movie they don't think it's going to do too well. I thought for sure they would do one for the American Society of Magical Negroes. Nothing. I was like, well, I want to support black actors and movies that have black people in it doing something that is not stereotypical, but yeah, trailer ain't really sell me, so that got nixed as an artist state. But I'd say overall St. Patrick's Day wasn't as annoying for me because I did for the most part get to go back home. I had to stand for most of the time, but you know, I got back home. I got to use some coupons so I didn't spend full price on a lot of things, and I did my written task for the day. I still need to do my check-in tonight, and I need to actually read all of the chapter ahead of Monday, or at least half tonight and then Monday to see what the tasks are going to be. One of the things I wrote for my morning page, even though I'm not reading these fucking morning pages, as they said, like, don't read the fucking morning page. I don't think I could read them. My handwriting's like fucking chicken scratch. Plus, it's like one of the first, if not second things I do when waking up. So I'm writing this usually from bed. My arm fucking hurts. At least one line in my morning pages say, my hand fucking hurts. This is pretentious. I don't see this helping me. But, and then in one of my morning pages, if I can find one of the T-Mobiles that still have the notebooks that they were giving out for Black History Month, I will use that as my morning pages. Otherwise, I'm only doing, I think one page, because my aunt gave me the jumbo fucking spiral. So one page is easily 2 pages of a smaller notebook. I will do one jumbo page for the rest of these weeks.
Good enough.
If I find the notebook, because at this point we're like 2 weeks into March, and this was a Black History Month promotion, but I also figured ain't nobody get these notebooks. It's a Black History. It's a nice notebook, but like it's not something that I feel like was gonna run out, you know. So I was like, I'm gonna just go to a local T-Mobile and ask them if they have some in the back, because my grandma likes to say, you gotta ask the question. So I went into one of the T-Mobiles, and I was like, random question. Do you have any more of the Black History Month notebooks? She's like, let me go check the back. Okay, cool. Here she come. Last one.
Aww.
I was like, well, gotta do it now.
Yep.
Gotta do it. I said I'd do it if I could find this notebook. And I mean,
you got it.
This gotta be the universe saying, do the fucking task. So I was like, all right. Well, let me go to what I end up. I'm ended up going to Marshall's. One of the things I do when I put things off, whether it's buying it, it's usually buying something that is either going to be for my benefit or something that I want. If I don't buy it right then and there when I see the thing, I tell myself if I come back later and it's there, then it's meant for me to have, and I will get it.
Yeah.
So one of those things was this notebook. Bam. Last one. It's like, well, it's meant for me to have, and it's meant for me to do this task. The other thing was getting this podcast set where it came with like a mic and a mixer where I could like add sound effects and shit. And there was a lot of them during the holidays, and I figured like, ooh, they might be like discounted now. Like they weren't too expensive when I saw them, but I was hoping they'd be like down from like $40 to like maybe 30 or 24 or something like that, just on clearance in general. So I went back to the Marshalls, didn't see the usual tech section that they had, looked all over the store, did not see the podcast thing. So I'm like, well, guess it's not meant for me to have it. I already have a mic, and I honestly do not have space for a mixer with my current setup. So I'm like, well, it's not meant for me to have. But I now have this notebook. Let me get some gel pens. Let me at least vary up the colors that I'm using each day, especially if I'm gonna be like, at the time when I was using the jumbo notebook, it was like some of these days might overlap on some of these pages. Let me just differentiate, because I also said I'm not fucking dating these. I'm not dating these. I'm not numbering these. I'm just writing them. The only thing that I'm like numbering are the tasks. So, and I'm using the jumbo notebook for my weekly tasks. So it'll say like week 1, and I'll do the task. And if that overlaps on a page with the week following, it is what it is. But my notebook, I got some colored gel pens off clearance at Marshall's, and then I saw a whole bunch of like mugs for like my mom. I was like, oh, my mom likes drinking coffee and she likes butterflies. I'm gonna get this. This gonna be her gift for Mother's Day. And I was like, oh well, fuck. Mother's Day, I'm taking all the mothers in the family to Mexico. Well, they're flying to Mexico. Let me make that clear. They're flying to Mexico, but I got the room in Mexico.
Okay.
So that was already going to be the gift, but I'm like, oh, I saw this mug. My mom would like this mug. Oh, Mother's Day's around the corner. This could be her Mother's Day gift. Oh,
yeah.
My Nana and my aunt are going to be there. Oh, and possibly my sister. And knowing my Nana, she's going to see me give my mom something. I want one. Let me make sure I got a mug for my Nana too. So I found another mug. It had like some Bible scripture. I'm like, she'll like this one. And I got something for my aunt. And then my sister don't really coffee like that, so I got her this it's like a one of those like protein shake mugs, or not mugs, workout bottles, but it allows you to mix. It has like a plastic mixer at the bottom. So I'm like, she could use this. She be in the gym. Boom. Be good. I think I spent like $70. Like, I spent more money than I intended that night. Oh, cause that was pie night. It was pie day. It was $3.14 for a pizza, and every Blaze I went to, the line was out the fucking door. So I ended up going all the way down to Belmont, hoping I was gonna find another Blaze pizza. You look confused. What's wrong? Fatima? Fatima?
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Mike, I think there's something wrong with her setup. Fatima?
Okay, you know?
Yes. Can you hear me?
You are coming out of my computer instead of into my ears.
That's weird. What did you do? You need to take your headphones out and put them back in?
This is weird.
Is it better? Worse? Can you hear me at all? Now I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Well,
Now.
I can hear you.
And I can hear you too, in my ear hole. Okay.
Alright, just in time for us to have to sign off. Ain't that some shit?
I know.
Oh, yeah. My little rant about Pi Day is Irrelevant. You probably didn't hear it. It's fine.
You don't like Pie Day?
No, my rant was the fact that I was trying to get one of those $3 and $14 pizzas that was being promoted that day, but every location had a line out the fucking door. So that's why I ended up going all the way down to like another spot and just it was near a Marshall's because for that day I was only intending to spend like maybe $15. Got a coupon to get some vitamins. I was going to spend like $3 on some fucking pizza. But all the Blazes near me are near college campuses or otherwise in just popular neighborhoods. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just head out because I'm not even really hungry. Let me come back out at like 8 o'clock. Blaze don't close till like maybe 10. Line still out the door.
Oh,
both locations. Line out the door. I'm like, fuck
I
this.
feel like that $3.14 pizza has like increased in value since the pandemic.
For sure. Because before I've been doing the pizza day or pie day.
I've been
at least 3 years since they started it.
And had no problem. No line.
No lines. 1 year during the pandemic, they even extended it. It was like use it starting the 14th, and you'd have any time between the 14th and like the following Monday or something to use it. So then it wasn't even a rush to like have to use it on Pie Day. It was Pie Week. That just goes to show how fucked the economy is now.
Yeah, even Cookie Monster has said something about it on Twitter, talked about some, what do you say? I hate shrinkflation. My cookies are getting smaller.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Again, 3 years ago, you could get a $3.14 pizza and weren't nobody.
No line. Nobody was really checking for it.
No, and Blaze is good. Like,
I like Blaze.
It's not like it's good. Like
it's good for the money. Yeah,
it's good for the money for sure. But like not enough that like when it's discounted, people are like, I gotta get it because it's already fairly decent prices anyway.
Right.
But $3.14, people are like, oh shit, finally something less than $5. You can't even go to Taco Bell nowadays without even getting a fucking taco for $2. And that's a tiny ass taco. We talking an 11-inch pizza, however the fuck you want it, for $3. That is easily 2 meals for me.
Right.
And for a college student, that might last them the week.
Blaze Pizza was one of those places that kept me alive during grad school.
We had to borrow at college. I never.
I had to borrow that.
I had to borrow once, never again. But now that I'm gone, now my college campus want to have a fucking Papa John's. I think it's a Papa John's. It's something. They also have like a pizza vending machine. I'm like, what the fuck was this when I was in school?
Yeah.
And it takes the school card. It takes your card that has your meal plan on it. I can just go to a fucking vending machine. I don't even gotta talk to people now. I can just use a vending machine. I'll tell you, for some things, the generations that follow have a better deal. I'm not one of those that like, I can get a vending machine, they shouldn't get it. I'm like, damn, I wish I had one. Good. I'm glad y'all got it, because God knows I would have loved it. I don't mean it. I ain't trying to take it from you. I'm just saying, can I get one as an adult? Can y'all? No, don't put it on my block. It'll get destroyed. But put it in my building? That'd be cool. Ooh, in my building. That'd be so nice. Shit, I just want a soda machine in my damn building. Other buildings got it. Shit. Anyway. So what's on your agenda for the week? How many weeks into the artist's way are you?
I think I'm on week 9. I gotta look. I think I'm on week 9, so it's like, yeah.
Have you felt a difference?
Yes and no. Like the actually I gotta say yes, because like the morning pages like help a lot for me, because like there was like so much stuff health wise I was behind on before I like came home for the pandemic, and like I've gotten caught up on all of my like medical appointments. My dentist appointments are back on back on track. And so yeah, I think it is helping me. So this week I have also like discovered like Tableau Public, and they have like a couple of like contests and stuff that I'm thinking about entering, and they're for like data visualization. And so yeah, I think it is. I think it's helping me to like clear some stuff out and helping me to think about like what I want to do next career wise, even though I'm not an artist. I'm a social psychologist and
I mean, that's what
data scientist.
that's what the book keeps saying. It's like well, it keeps saying like everyone's an artist, and anyone can use this. This can help them. One of the things that really gets on my nerves in the book is like all the like testimonials, but they're like third person testimonials. Like, I had one guy who was this, and he tried it, and I don't give a fuck about Bob. I don't care about these little testimonials. I don't care about Sister Ann that didn't like their artwork back in first grade. I don't care about these little examples of who I'm assuming are just like middle-aged white folks hobby. Okay, I don't care. Especially when they were taking this course when it was like costing them money. I guarantee you this course probably cost them like $1,000, if not more. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I need help. Okay, my mental capacity needs help. It needs a rewiring of thought, and I can't help but just think how pretentious a lot of this shit is. So I'm still in that early, like, not resisting, but like, it's just annoying. It's just,
And everything you find annoying, I like. And
right,
also,
that's the thing. I mentioned
also,
that in my morning pages. I'm like,
yeah.
The only people in my life that I know who've actually suggested this are practically the same goddamn person. They're both 40-some-year-old women that are in like cerebral focused careers for the most part, and they're on that woo-woo shit. I'm not a woo-woo bitch, right? You gotta meditate.
But also, like, okay, well, I'm only part woo-woo. I'm also part scientist, and there is a science of journaling. Like, there's
oh yeah, that too.
There's a social
bullet point things. Bullet
journal. Yeah, I'm a bullet journal girly.
Like, you actually like to write, so you're like, oh my god, yay! I can bust out new pens for this.
Yeah, I like to write and think. But there's also Penbaker. There's a social psychologist. His last name is Penbaker. Dr. Penbaker has written several books on how journaling helps a person psychologically. So there is something to the morning pages, even if this woman might not know exactly what it is, and which is why all she can do is tell you about all of these testimonials, because she has taught this class and these workshops over and over again for the last however many years, because like,
I mean, she's going off of her own vibes. She's like, yeah, after my last baby of a script was denied, I went to the mountains and stared at the vistas and would write in my journal as I looked at the mountains. I'm like, well, boo-hoo, bitch. You had enough money that you could leave and go buy a fucking house somewhere with a beautiful view. I am stuck in my studio apartment in Chicago with no view of just.
But you're actually not, because you also have a Mexican timeshare, which you go to and you're going to again.
Okay, but that's like once a week, and that costs fucking money. Anyway, I say that to say I'm not quite feeling the benefits yet. I think maybe if anything,
but it's only been a week.
Maybe I know it's only been a week.
And you're gonna give it a chance, and I love that.
I will give it a fucking chance. It might just end up turning into a fucking dream journal, because I've been having some weird ass fucking dreams that I can't for the life of me remember after like 10 minutes. It's one of those things where you just have
you have to write it down. Yeah,
you have a vibe after the fact. I described it as when you see an indent of furniture left in the floor, you know something was there. You have evidence something was there, but you don't know how long it was there, the design of it, what was in it, its color. You have nothing but the imprint left of it, and the assumption that it was probably heavy. That is what these dreams dissipating from my head feel like. I'm like, I know I had a dream. I know it was fucking weird. But I can only make out certain impressions of what it was about. So I have to now just wake up and write this shit down. That I will not read again because I don't want to read my shit. Last time I did a journal, my mom read my fucking journal, and I called her.
Oh, that's trauma. That's
I fucking set her up too. I wrote in my journal, and I wrote. She's probably gonna fucking read this. I don't think I said fucking. But I'm like, I know she's gonna read it, and I left it out somewhere on purpose so she could take it and read it, and then she gonna confront me. She's like, yeah, I read it. I'm like, you're just proving my point, like.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you have just read it and just kept it in the back of your fucking mind? Like, why are you calling me out? You're proving my fucking point right now. To my mom's credit though, she does take accountability for a lot of things that she has done during my childhood, some things that I don't think she necessarily needed to apologize for. If I call her out about this moment, I'm sure she would apologize if she hasn't already, so. My mom of my teen years, the mom in my adult years. This has been made very clear in the fact that she flew out to babysit me for like a week when I went non-communicative for like a day. I couldn't even go a full 48 hours of not communicating with people on social media before my friend was about to call the fucking National Guard.
Oh, well, you're loved. That's good.
Yeah. I was like, God damn, I can't not repost something on Facebook without people about to fucking call the National Guard on me.
Because they love you.
Yeah, my mom
That's
flew out and I told her she didn't have to stay in my house. There's nowhere for her to really stay in my house, but she just sat there. She just slept on the floor.
Oh.
And like cleaned my kitchen. Now my kitchen's reorganized. I gotta figure out where my shit is. I'm like, Mom, you didn't have to do this, but thanks. So
That's sweet.
All that to say, I'm still a work in progress.
We all are.
Yeah, but I don't even feel myself. My friend calls it masking because she's on the spectrum. I guess I've been masking to an extent, but it's like I can't not. In this world, I can't go out with the demeanor that I actually feel a lot of the time because it makes people uncomfortable. I so much as sigh too much. People are like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm expelling carbon monoxide."
But you're doing it loudly.
Okay, but it's part of my process. Okay, I got a lot of built up carbon monoxide. I just let me breathe. God damn. But no, it makes people uncomfortable. So now I gotta fucking hold my breath or just not not look like I'm going to upset people. Like, it's probably why, in a way, I envy fucking like Wednesday and Daria. Wednesday and Daria move through their world the way I feel on the inside, on their face. And people are still trying to be their friend and all this, that, and the third. I'm like, why do they want to be friends with these bitches? Like, especially Daria. No, Wednesday to an extent too. But especially Daria. I call it a Wednesday Daria, even though that's what people equate me to. So maybe my mask is not as tight as I thought it was. At least not with like close friends and family. I try not to let that spill over to like folks who don't know me. Unless I'm on the train, then yes, I pretty much have a bitch face. Do not talk to me. Don't even look at me. But anyway, what's your artist date for the week?
Okay, so I was thinking about it, and I have been wanting to go to the domes here in Milwaukee. How do I share things here? It's like a huge like greenhouse. Like they have like.
That sounds pretty.
Yeah.
It's gonna be warm in there too. Yeah, those carbon monoxide Just as carbon monoxide can kill you, so do some of the feelings that I have built up inside.
So I want to go down there, but that's downtown. And if I don't make it all the way there, then I'll go to a plant shop and I'll buy a plant because I want to buy a plant.
You know what you should buy?
Hmm.
Those Lego plants. Not only will you
I was looking for one at the Five Below because I went online and saw that they sell them, but then I didn't see one when I went to the actual Five
Yeah, get one of those, because then you'll be able to you'll have a plant, but it's also like tactile. You're putting the plant together.
And I do love puzzles.
And it won't die. You ain't gotta worry about watering it. I'll send you a link. But yeah, I don't have no space. I don't have space for fake plants. But like next time I move, I would love to get more of those like Lego plants. That'd be cool. I don't think I have an artist date yet this week. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do this week.
So I was gonna go there, or I was gonna go buy some spices. And I was going to try making this Ethiopian dish that I used to always get when I lived in Chicago.
Oh.
Duro Wat is the name of the dish. And it's like these red lentils and a red sauce. And I know where to get the spices. So I was thinking about trying that.
Excited about cooking. Look at you.
I am.
Could it be me? I'm
excited about like not only mastering the skill of this particular dish because it's a different type of cuisine that I typically cook, but also mostly I'm excited about eating it. And I've looked around, and
of course
there are not many Ethiopian places around here. Like when I lived here in Milwaukee before, there were none, and now there are a few, but they don't look good. They don't look.
It's very much the Thanos way to just do it yourself.
Yeah. And I did already find some spice shops that sell the kind of spices that I would need. So I was like, well, there's my sign to just go make it yourself.
There you go. Yeah, I have to put some thought into what my artist date is. Maybe I will do a matinee.
And then I had another idea. Yeah. I was thinking that I need to start looking for third places. Like, okay, so have you heard about the third place?
No.
So America suffers from a lack of a third place. So this is a place that's not work and it's not home. And that used to be places such as the mall, but the mall has died. The mall has died a horrible death. And it also used to be places such as like the bowling alley, but
arcades.
Yes. And so I was going to go look for third places in Milwaukee. So
that will be a great name for a third place.
A third place, and it's just
third place.
Yeah, and it's a juice bar.
Some kind of communal thing in general.
It's a juice bar, but it's set up like a coffee shop, but it's just juice.
Yes,
like we don't
only juice.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like,
and that way you don't have to have like a liquor license, and you won't have people up your ass about like the quality of your coffee because it's just juice.
Yeah. I say for sure society nowadays has lost that sense of community. I think for a lot of people nowadays, the third place is church. And even then, it's not really, for some people, it's not really a place to let your guard down. So like,
oh, definitely.
It's like, so like you have, it's church, it's the ballroom scene for queer communities. Those are real underground. Like those things is like you gotta know a person who knows a person. Like that's just not open to any old kind of person. I would say to an extent conventions are a third place. Comic conventions, anime conventions are very much like a third place, but they're not every day. It's not, I can't just go to an anime convention tonight or this weekend. They're just not going to be in my city on a regular, like you could just go to the local bowling alley or the arcade. Like shoot, even when my brother was here, he was trying to go, he was trying to find a skating rink. And there was like no skating rink up in my neighborhood. He had to go to like the south side of Chicago. But even then, they weren't open until like 7 o'clock. It was like late kind of thing. And he wasn't going to be able to go. So he had to go to like Millennium Park and just ice skate. But that's not the same as like the skating rink. Like even when I was growing up, we would go to the skating rink like on a Saturday or something.
Yeah.
Every other birthday party was at the fucking skating rink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My birthday
Skating
was at the
rinks,
skating rink. When I was
Chuck E.
like
Cheese.
7,
We don't even train young people to be gamblers.
The McDonald's play place.
Yeah, that's gone.
Back in the day, birthday parties were either at the McDonald's play place or a skating rink. Those were like the top 2 places to have your birthday party. And
we used to also do Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh yeah, and Chuck E. Cheese. Those 3: skating rink, Chuck E. Cheese. What did we say? Skating. Did I say skating rink already? Skating rink.
Oh, McDonald's.
McDonald's play place. Yeah, the play place. And then like Maryland had a place called Jeepers. They had pizza. And Discovery Zone. I don't know if Discovery Zone was a national thing, but there was definitely them in the Midwest. Those were like the 5 places to have your birthday party back in the day. Where do kids go now?
They don't go. Sister, and this is the thing. They don't even want to learn how to drive.
Parties. They be having hotel parties. They be having birthday parties in hotels. My brother, his driving test, no parking. He like drove around in a parking lot. There was no parking element to his driving test. There was no street element to his driving test. The fuck?
And now the rest of the world has to share the road with him.
I mean, to be fair, he got street training with my parents. It's just when he had to take his practical to get his license, he didn't have to use anything that he'd been training for.
Crazy.
And he learned how to drive stick as his for manual.
Wow.
For his first car, because that's the one they bought. They bought it from like an older neighbor. So he had to learn manual, and luckily both my mom and his dad know how to drive manual to teach him, and had a car to teach him in. One out of every family member knows how to drive stick in my family, but the other half don't. It's, I don't know what we're gonna do in an apocalypse. I'ma just die, so I don't really gotta worry about trying to learn how to drive stick or something like that. I'm not fighting it. I'm not fighting it. It's whatever. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what I've got.
Fatash.
Yeah. I've been Fatima.
Weird note to end on. Guess I'll just die. What?
The Walking Dead makes survival seem like real bad.
This is a lot of work. First of all, I don't like to spend full price on anything. Second of all, my grandfather already owns a samurai sword that I have called dibs on, so I don't have to buy one. Third of all, it's too much work. I'm not going out killing other people. Why am I killing other people? Other people will kill other people. Other people will kill themselves. I will just be in a corner. Leave me alone. I will probably die not having enough water within a week. I'm fine. What the fuck?
My problem is my brother is determined to.
This is a man thing. Men love the idea of there being an apocalypse so they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
It's not going to be the one we want. It's not going to be the violent one where we like get to kill our neighbors.
I don't want to kill my neighbors.
But that's
why do people want to kill each other? It's weird.
I don't know. That's the fantasy, but that's not what we get.
That's the man's fantasy. You know what? I want to see. No, I'll take that back. I'll say I want to see what the woman's fantasy of the apocalypse is. It's oftentimes just fascism. Like the whole world is just being controlled by one government entity, and you have like a battle royale or something to control the population. That's the
Is it the
That's
women's? Oh, well, yeah, like fantasy apocalypse.
Ain't that like the Handmaid's Tale? It's like
The Handmaid's Tale.
Is
Oh my gosh.
women are being subjugated to just be baby makers. That's pretty much women's worst idea of the apocalypse.
But isn't that happening?
Exactly. It's happening now. We are living in the dark timeline. It's just not as cool because we don't have flying cars or robots. The AI is stuck. Having a baby in the apocalypse is madness.
I don't want no one to make it.
Why would you want to have babies in the fucking apocalypse? You're not gonna have any epidurals. Trying to find diapers are a fucking nightmare. The most relatable scene in The Walking Dead, not The Walking Dead, in The Last of Us live action was how Ellie found a pack of Tampax, and I was with her. I was cheering too. I was like, "Oh shit, Tampax!" Like I was like, I forgot how annoying still having your period in the apocalypse would be. You people over here stealing fucking toilet paper. Give me all the sanitary pads and Tampax, and I'll be the richest woman in the apocalypse.
We are back to being on the rag, just any old rag.
Literally on the rag. Though in The Last of Us, they had the Diva cups, so I would have to learn how to use the Diva cup.
Oh, actually, did you know that your Diva cup can suck out your IUD?
Jesus Christ, that vacuum seal. Anyway, sorry, Mike. We ran over again. We're like 4 minutes from about to start Blur Die. Again, I've been Ash. I will die in the apocalypse.
I have been Fatima. I kind of want to live.
And this has been
Fatash.
Bye.